Braun is a character that we do not see much of throughout our time inside Playtime Co. That being said, this doesn't mean he's any less important. Rather, he in fact played a crucial role in the Bigger Bodies initiative. But it's not that simple, and the story behind this character is actually sad, or rather quite disturbing. Playtime Co. was king of the toy manufacturing industry during its time. The company prided themselves on creating the most unique toys using their own revolutionary technology. This ranged from basic plastic figures to toys that could speak back to you. That being said, they made sure to stay up to date with trends, and during the 1960s, dinosaurs were very popular as most kids were fascinated with their giant stature and mysterious past. Playtime Co. wanted to capitalize off this craze, so the company researched which type of dinosaur would be best to design a toy from. Their research concluded that a Brontosaurus would be a popular choice, and this would be less difficult to make than those other dinosaurs that have horns and plates on their back. In 1961, they created Bron, their very own dinosaur toy. He was designed to be a cuddly yet clumsy guy with a mocking sense of humor and a always positive attitude. A toy that children could resonate with while also unlocking their imagination when playing with. Now, he wasn't as successful as Huggy Wuggy, but he was popular. The kids loved this dinosaur toy, so Playtime Co. included Braun in the main toy line. He would appear in a lot of the company's art and posters around the factory, as well as their marketing material. They even made a snack called Dino Dots using his likeness. The Braun character was portrayed to make jokes and puns about dinosaurs, although this sense of humor takes a slight dark turn as he ends up referring to himself as the scariest dinosaur.
What do you call a dinosaur who's a noisy sleeper? A Tyrannosaurus! What do you call the scariest dinosaur? Me!
Braun was hardworking and would fully commit to any goals he gave to himself. He was very athletic and could withstand tons of hard work every day. Therefore, he would eat up to 4,000 calories daily. But the positive theme behind this character would not last forever, as his involvement with the Bigger Bodies initiative would take a grim turn. What goes up must come down, and Playtime Co.'s time of being the top toy manufacturing company was coming to an end. They were losing money. A lot of money. They needed something to revive the company, something that would propel them back to the top while also saving them financially. So the Bigger Bodies initiative was proposed. This would be the solution to the company's ongoing problems by developing giant toys to increase the workforce while cutting costs. This entailed the unethical harvesting of human organs and bones, in tandem with the poppy flower to create organic experiments, giant vessels modeled after the company's toys. But finding people to willingly take part in these experiments would be difficult, so Playtime Co. opened Playcare, their very own on-site orphanage. These innocent children would be forced into experiments for the Bigger Bodies, and Braun was one of the toys selected for said experiments. However, the human chosen for this toy would not be one of the orphans. Rather, it would be one of Playtime Co.'s own employees, Thomas Clarke. Thomas was born in 1932, just 2 years after Playtime Co. was founded. Throughout his early life, he was fascinated with the medical field, so he pursued a career in medicine. 23 years later, Thomas Clarke had earned his medical degree. Shortly after, he applied for a full-time job as a pediatrician at Playtime Co. The company needed someone to make sure the kids stayed healthy, so he was hired and worked inside the Playcare as the children's doctor for 36 years. Now, you could suggest that Thomas truly cared about the kids, how he wanted to help keep the children well, but he knew about the Bigger Bodies initiative. He knew what was really going on. Throughout Thomas Clarke's time working there, he witnessed some questionable things that he couldn't even explain. One day, after a failed attempt from Theodore Gramble to escape Playtime Co., the prototype dropped Theodore's injured body at Thomas's office doorstep. Thomas saw the prototype with his own eyes. It looked like something he had never seen before. He couldn't even describe it. Time would go on, and at 59 years old, Thomas Clarke would unfortunately be diagnosed with terminal lung cancer. With the end of his life near, he decided to volunteer himself for an experiment to become a bigger body. It's unsure if Thomas did this to pursue immortality, as he might have been afraid of death, or if he knew his time was up and just wanted to help the company any way he could, to do what he thought was right. Maybe by doing this, he knew he could spare an innocent child's life. Regardless, Playtime Co. made sure to cover their tracks, and logged all paperwork confirming that Thomas Clarke made this decision himself and was of sound mind. Now, what if Thomas Clarke never actually had cancer? What if, because he saw the prototype, the company needed to dispose of him? And because he was so smart, they thought this would translate well into a bigger body. But that's a theory for another video. The staff decided the Braun model would be the appropriate container for Thomas. Perhaps they thought his personality would fit well with the character. So, Thomas Clarke would now be referred to as Subject 1199. They began the transfer, and at first it seemed successful. Thomas woke up in a small yet broken Bron toy, but he seemed to be more disoriented than expected, only being able to frantically move his eyes around. It was as if he was scared. His mental performance was also disappointingly poor. The scientists would ask him questions but got no response. It was as if he didn't know where he was or what had happened to him. He was unable to communicate in any way. Thomas was trapped inside. Regardless of this outcome, staff decided to monitor his behavior and put him in with the rest of the bigger body experiments. Maybe this would somehow help him slowly regain his mental state. Although, more interestingly, the other experiments could tell that Subject 1199 was different. They were hostile towards him. It was as if they knew he was once an employee at Playtime Co. They knew he wasn't an orphan. So they attacked him. During this attack, you can hear Boxy Boo's theme, suggesting that he was the one that attacked. Subject 1199 would have been killed had the research team not intervened. But even then, there was significant damage to his internal structure with some of his anatomy. They found him lying in a pool of his own blood. His larynx and thyroid had been torn out and devoured by the other experiments. Staff rushed him into a 12-hour life-saving surgery that was able to stabilize him. Because of what had happened, he would be unable to ever speak again. Moving forward, staff decided to keep him separated from the other experiments by placing him in a small containment cell to ensure his safety. As of right now, it's a mystery as to what followed these events. We have yet to find any additional documentation for Subject 1199. It's unknown if he was ever able to reconvene with the other experiments. Although, assuming they knew he was an employee, they likely killed him off once the Hour of Joy massacre began. Or maybe he escaped. So the other toys hung every single Braun toy they could find in hopes that one of them was Subject 1199, rendering him gone forever. But the past incident tape would not be the last time we, the player, see the Braun character. Braun was originally supposed to be a main antagonist in Chapter 1. However, he ended up getting cut. But he did make a major appearance in Chapter 2 inside the rejection room. This giant toy version is an obstacle that the player needs to overcome in order to proceed. Other than this room and the other toy versions around the facility, we don't really see much of Braun in any of the chapters. The character kind of feels left out. But like I said, it doesn't mean he's any less important. From a successful medical student to an experimented on subject, the Thomas Clarke and Braun character is a testament that not all stories need to have a happy ending. His sacrifice to the company did not come without value. The other experiments attacking him proved that they were smart. It proved that they could see beyond the toy vessel into one's soul. This is why he was important. One may consider Thomas Clarke to be unlucky, or maybe he got what he deserved. I'll let you decide. How do you guys feel about Braun? Will we see him in Chapter 4? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you like horror game content like this, please consider subscribing. Also, if you want to support the channel more, you can become a member. Don't forget to follow my Twitter at TerrifyT. Thanks for watching.